Hi, my name is Gabby Armada. I'm an undergraduate research assistant under Dr. Krall and Dr. Henneman, and I will be going over the devaR package that I created for our research. DEVA stands for Detailed Emissions in Virginia, and we use novel approaches to estimate air pollution sources for environmental justice. My role focuses on the data science and project management perspective of our research. First, I'll be going over our project workflow, so you can see how this R package contributes to the overall goals of our project. This is our entire project workflow, but we will specifically be focusing on our research output. Our first goal is to identify sources with inequitable exposure distributions. This is called source maps. And we also want to produce a high-resolution emissions dataset by source in Virginia from 2011 to 2020. This is the NEI compiled 2011 to 2017 dataset, as well as the MOVES model. The R package will be aiding these two research goals. Now for the R package overview, I will be going over all of the functions and data contained in the package, as well as how we implement them in our research. Starting with installation and package use. The DevTools package provides the function install GitHub, which is a helpful way to install R packages hosted on GitHub. We will use this function to install the devaR packages so. You call install GitHub with my GitHub username /devaR, and then we use library to call in the package, as you would any other R package. The devaR package contains convenient functions used to process and clean EPA NEI original data for analyses and spatial modeling. This is what the GitHub page looks like. The R folder contains all functions and data documentation. The data raw folder contains raw data files, which is the EPA NEI original data. The data folder contains the process and compiled NEI data. The man folder contains all functions and dataset documentation. And the description contains package logistics and dependencies. The rest of the files are for package setup. And this is what the README file looks like. Now onto all the functions contained in this package. First is the process and compile NEI functions. These are used to clean and compile all EPA NEI original data files of interest into one large data frame. The output data frame contains county, pollutant, sector, emissions, and year information. It's important to note that these functions are written so that process NEI is embedded within the compile NEI function. This means that you only have to call the compile NEI function to perform all the processing and compiling of EPA NEI data. Compile NEI takes one argument, which is data folder, which is a file path to a local folder containing CSV files of EPA NEI data. Now onto how to use this function. First, you locate a data folder containing EPA NEI original data. For me, it's here in this folder on my computer. Next, you pass the file to compile NEI. I use the here function in R for convenience. As for the function outputs, it first prints the number after each iteration of processing and compiling, and it also outputs the final process and compiled data frame. Next is the map NEI function, which is used to spatially model pollutant emissions by sector and county in Virginia. It takes two arguments. The first one is data, which is a CSV file of compiled NEI data, as well as sector, which is a string input of the pollutant sector of interest. Map NEI is embedded into the source map Shiny app rather than used on its own, so you don't actually have to type in arguments for data and sector. This is what the source map's output looks like. Since Map NEI is built into the Shiny app, you just use these drop-down menus to control the function arguments rather than explicitly typing them in. Now onto the data that is contained in this package. It contains the NEI compiled data, which is the final process and compiled NEI dataset. To load it into your RStudio environment, you call devaR and NEI compiled, and this is the output. The devaR package also contains the raw data, which is the CSV files pulled from the EPA NEI databases, which is contained in this data raw folder. There's about 15 CSV files that you can use for processing and compiling.